Hi, I'm Michael Burke, and this is Money Talks.
Hi, welcome to Money Talks. I'm Michael Burke. We are at the very brand new Indian Motorcycle dealership in downtown Racine with the general manager, Richard Betchkal. We're recording this on day 2. You guys just opened on May 11th. Let me just ask you right away before we sort of reel a lot of facts past people, what's been the reaction so far?
The reaction has been as good as we hoped for, maybe even a little better. The weather and being open on Monday is a factor. It hurt us a little bit. Yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Today's a little slower, and the weather again factors into all of this.
Sure.
If it was 70 degrees out today, we probably wouldn't be able to do this thing right now here.
Because they'd be wanting to take test rides.
Much more people involved. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to set the scene a little bit. This incredibly beautiful Art Deco building was, people may know it most recently as the Historic Century Market, the grocery store, but actually this started, according to the owner, Mark Picaro, in his research, this started in 1928 as a Studebaker dealership, and then in a later era was called Kovac Motors, and they carried a Chrysler, Plymouth, Imperial, and so you have this history of selling vehicles. And now it's back to selling vehicles, except they only have 2 wheels. So I think that's pretty cool. Why don't you give us just a snippet of history about the Indian brand?
The Indian brand from the beginning?
But I mean, just kind of briefly.
Yeah, well, they were the first American motorcycle company in existence.
Oh.
They were established in 1901 originally. Harley Davidson was established in 1903. So actually, he was 2 years older. They continued on until 1953, and they went out of business. They went out of existence then. And that left Harley as the only American company to build motorcycles until the late 90s when Polaris Industries, which owns Indian today, came out with a Victory motorcycle, which is also American made. But Indian was basically gone from 1953 till last year, 2014. There was a couple attempts in
really brief attempts
in the late 90s, early 2000s to revive the name that failed due to lack of engineering, lack of money.
Well, now Polaris Industries is huge, and they actually fundamentally changed the cycle of the motorcycle.
Oh, it's totally new. It's a brand new motorcycle. I mean, that's what people don't know probably that are just listening now or watching to see this Indian brand.
When you say new, you mean what?
Built from scratch.
Okay.
Were the ones that the attempts to revive them back in the 90s and early 2000s were basically they used a replica Harley Davidson motor and a Harley Davidson frame and built some fenders around it and put an Indian badge on it and called it an Indian, and that's what it was. And it was priced high, and they just didn't make it. In 2009, Polaris had bought the name from whoever owned it last, and by the time they started designing one, it took them 27 months to produce a vehicle.
So they re-engineered it, right?
Well, they built it from scratch. I mean, it's totally nothing at all like the Indian that was tried to be revived in the late 90s and 2000s.
Now, what are some of the models on the floor right now?
Well, we've got every model they sell except for one, which is a Scout model, which is not available. It's a smaller bike. It's hard to get because they're way behind on production because they pre-sold so many. They had a couple of production issues on them, which they've since taken care of, but now we're behind yet, so we're not getting them in. But other than that, we have all the models. We have a Dark Horse, which is in front of us here. I'm sitting on what is called a Chief Vintage. It happens to be missing the windshield right now, but it's just like the black one behind us here. These are all Chief Vintages here. And we have another model called the Chieftain, which is out of the camera. We have a Roadmaster, which is a top-of-the-line model, which is comparable to a Harley Davidson Ultra Limited. Who's ever listening and watching would know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another model just called the Chief Classic, which is a basic entry-level large displacement motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. What's the range in price on these, and what features come as standard, and then what would be extras?
The range in prices would be from $10,000, about $11,000 to $28,000, all the way in between. So as far as features, they come with a lot of features on them, more so than probably any other brand that's being built today.
What would be some of those features?
Well, they all have chrome front forks. They all have chrome controls. Most of the models come with cruise control, which a lot of the other companies don't have that either.
Cruise control?
The big models that we're talking about, the touring models that are not in the picture here, they come with power windshields. They come with all the things I mentioned already. They come with some come with heated seats, power locks on their. Well, I can go on and on, but I guess you want.
And some have windshields that.
Yeah, they go up and down like a car window.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a real neat feature. They have real powerful stereos, big power on the stereo. Lots of musical.
Now, I don't believe these are loud like a Harley would.
Oh yeah, they're the same thing.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, the Harleys aren't loud either. People make them loud.
Oh, I see.
Just like we can make ours loud, they make theirs loud. That's a choice of the owner that wants to buy it. As far as people buying the vehicle stock, none of them are real loud. They just get that way from people doing it.
Now, it sounds like Indian has this obvious built-in fan base, but why is that? Because it's had there have been decades since it went out of business, and you said the recent attempts were failures before this one.
Well, the reason they were failures, mainly in their case, they didn't have enough money, enough engineering, and the name, it's an iconic name, and they were banking on that to get them through to sell the vehicle. Well, the vehicle wasn't any good.
But how does it retain its popularity from something that was?
Well, because history goes back, like old Harleys. Everybody likes old Harleys, even though they're making new Harleys. They still like the old Harleys too. Well, the Indian never went away as far as because it was always there yet, even though they weren't making new ones. So the name Indian is an iconic name, just like Harley Davidson is an iconic name. They're very similar.
Now, you've only been open 24 hours, but I know you've already sold 4 bikes. How is it that you've sold that many bikes already?
Well, we actually sold most of those 4 before we were open. And it's word of mouth.
Which speaks to that pent-up demand for these.
Yeah, and people want something different. They're looking for a different item. I mean, Harley Davidson's been the only big bike, American-made bike, for a long time. They've had no competition, and now they do, and that's what people are looking for. They're looking for something different.
And people will, Polaris apparently like the idea of, because this building is so, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's beautiful, it's interesting.
It's perfect for what we're looking for.
And Polaris was willing to say, we will take that franchise and we'll put it in downtown Racine. It sounds like you're pretty confident people will come from around the area to downtown.
Well, downtown Racine needs this kind of thing. We truly believe that, and we've heard that from everybody in the area and everybody that comes in here. Most people really think it's a great thing to see down here, only because downtown Racine needs more business.
You can always use more.
Yeah, not just more business. And the other thing is that our clientele is not going to come from right here in this area only.
Right.
A lot of people look and say, well, they say in the neighborhood you're in, you're not going to do very well there. Well, of course we're not expecting to sell everybody on 6th Street.
Sure.
But we're the only dealer right now there's Madison, there's Elgin, Illinois.
So you got a big area to pull
so
from.
we got Milwaukee yet. And so we've already, in fact, today we're doing some work from some people that from Milwaukee in the back today for service work that can come here already for their 5,000-mile checkups when they bought them elsewhere, Elgin or Madison, because they live close by. And if we would have been open already before this, we would have sold them the bikes. Someone else did instead. So we're not fearful of being the location of that. And when Indian came here, they came here and they asked about building a building on the freeway. And Mark Picaro, the owner here, was very willing to do that. But then he said, you don't have another building in downtown Racine, and Indian said, let's go look at that. Let's see what it is.
And one thing I know you're going to put into use, we're getting really short on time here, but later this year, you're going to make use of the kitchen in your mezzanine, and you're going to have a short order, basically a short order cook up there. So you come in from, Walworth County or wherever, kind of spend half a day and get beer, wine, and food. So I think that's going to be a really, you don't know of any other Indian dealerships where that's built into it.
Not Indian dealerships that I know of.
Yeah.
And also we're going to have a Tuesday night bike night where all brands are welcome. We're going to have live music. This will start after Memorial Day, where people can ride in and just fraternize, and look at the motorcycles, and just enjoy themselves.
All right. Well, we know the Indian fans in the area will check this out. So thanks. Thanks to
all brands are welcome on that.
Okay, good to know. All right, Dickie Betchkal. Well, good luck. I know you're going to do well here. You've been watching Money Talks. I'm Michael Burke. Thanks a lot to our producer, Greg Shaver, and we'll see you next time.